Welcome to Brilliantly British. My name is Lawrence and today I'm going to show you how to make a classic, traditional, original sticky toffee pudding from scratch. So, as I show you how, please sit back, relax with a cup of tea in hand, putting those feet up too, and enjoy this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. If I were to recommend one must-try British dish, my dear viewers, it would be this one. This, my dear friends, is a classic sticky toffee pudding. Steamed, not baked, light and not dense, for the most wonderful of desserts, served with a rich, sticky toffee sauce. In this episode, I'll be sharing my recipe with you, following a session of tasting at the end to inspire you to give this recipe a try. So, without much further ado, allow me to introduce the ingredients to you. For today's Brilliantly British classic sticky toffee pudding, you will need some black treacle, and if you're finding it hard to get some, worry not. Follow the link up there to learn how to make it yourselves at home. You will need also some light muscovado sugar, some granulated or caster sugar. You will need some vanilla, some full fat heavy whipping cream, an egg or two, some dried apricots, self-raising flour, butter, followed by a little pinch or two of salt to avoid the occurrence of bland food, and that is all you will need for today's Brilliantly British classic sticky toffee pudding. But, before you get started, before you do anything at all, please switch on your kettle, brew yourself a nice cup of hot tea so that you can sip on that whilst you cook. To begin making the most British of desserts, in a saucepan gently heat butter, soft brown sugar and black treacle, stirring constantly over a medium-low heat until the ingredients homogenize. You'll then want to add a dash of vanilla followed by your double cream, keeping the heat at a medium-low level while stirring the contents constantly. Continue to gradually heat the mixture, adding a pinch of salt until the sauce just starts to boil, at which point you'll want to switch off your source of heat, placing the pan to one side for later on. With the sauce taken care of, proceed by soaking and thus submerging your apricots in hot water, the amount being mentioned in the description of this episode, and then, whilst the apricots soak, rehydrate while taking a break to enjoy some of our other content on the channel, making sure of course to like and subscribe. Following on, into a relatively large bowl with room temperature salted diced butter, add your soft brown sugar. Begin at first by combining by hand before transitioning to a stand mixer or electric whisk until well combined. Placing the bowl to one side for just a moment, recall your beaker of softened soaked apricots, which should be blended into a smooth mixture before adding to and combining with the butter and sugar within your bowl. With the apricots, butter and sugar well mixed through, turn in an egg, combine before finishing the batter with the addition of your sifted self-raising flour. After ensuring that the batter is lump-free, prepare your pudding form by greasing liberally with melted butter before coating thoroughly with sugar to aid with the pudding's removal later on. With my form buttered and coated within, I continued by turning in my sticky toffee pudding batter, knocking the filled form once full to remove pockets of air. And, with that done, I proceeded by greasing a sheet of parchment paper, which I folded with an essential pleat, enabling the pudding to expand as it cooked. Atop the parchment, a sheet of foil was also laid on, with a pleat enabling the pudding, as previously mentioned, to expand as it cooked. Then, with both sheets in place, I began to secure and tie up the pudding, in preparation for steaming, by winding my twine around the pudding basin, using the contours of the form to secure my string. When tying up the basin, it's essential to leave some slack in the string on top, which again will allow the pudding to expand as it steams. Nevertheless, I urge you to take your time, as there's no rush, as you need only make sure that the sheets and the basin are firmly secured
and in place. Moreover, this will be an opportunity for you to learn how to ideally sling together a handle, making it significantly easier and safer to remove the pudding when hot and ready. With the pudding prepped for cooking in a suitably sized lidded pot, quickly bring water to a boil, using the time whilst you wait to make a seat for your pudding basin, if by chance you don't happen to have a small heat-safe plate. But with the water boiling and with my foil ring in place, I carefully lowered my basin into my pot, ensuring that the basin was balanced and well seated with the water level peaking halfway up my basin. I then placed on my lid, leaving the pudding to steam within the water at a gentle rolling boil for 90 minutes, during which I maintained the water level as the pudding steamed. 90 minutes later, I slowly uncovered the pot, lifting out the basin thereafter, before eagerly snipping away at the twine to uncover an aromatic, spongy pudding. The pudding was then slowly overturned and left for 15 minutes to cool slightly, shrink, and thus detach from the mould, to reveal this hot and stunningly contoured pudding, which, after a moment spent admiring, was bathed in my sauce to become a majestic and classic sticky toffee pudding. So now, with the pudding made and your appetites peaking, I think it's time for
tasting, tasting, tasting. Are you ready? Are you steady? 3, 2, 1. Oh, silk. Oh, this is just The words that immediately come to mind when this pudding, this dessert, comes in contact with my tongue, my palate: silky, velvety, rich, decadent. It is beautifully, beautifully made. It's so spongy, light. The clotted cream with this just really lifts everything, and it's amazing to me. The apricot, the flavour of the apricot has permeated through this and adds, strangely, a unique sort of nuttiness. I just can't put my finger on it. It's strange, but I love it. I really love it. Those of you who will go ahead and try this pudding, which you really ought to, will understand what I'm talking about immediately. But the sauce as well. Let me please allow me to explain the wonderful flavour of this sauce. It is deep. Really, really deep, and it just makes me think, what if we used full-on muscovado sugar as opposed to light muscovado sugar? The flavors would be much more intense than this, and I'm dumbfounded. I am. It's fantastic, and it's probably up there, definitely top 5 with all-time great English British desserts. So look, with that being said, please go out, get the ingredients, make this pudding. It is a 110-50. It's definitely worth it. Please, please, please make this pudding, please. Thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make a fantastic, classic, original sticky toffee pudding. Knowing that you loved this episode, please don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone you know, and I mean everyone that you know, about the Brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you next time. Right, I'm going again.